Hello everybody, thank you for joining me today. I do truly appreciate it. And today I want to talk about a Suntup Editions numbered edition book that I picked up. I actually pre-ordered it through Camelot Books, and I live 15 miles or so away from Camelot Books. They're in Land O'Lakes, and I'm in Brooksville, Florida. But I pre-ordered the book with them as soon as it was out because I didn't know if I'd be able to get it through Suntup, a numbered edition. And they've actually had it for a little while. I've just been messing around and haven't gotten over there to pick it up yet, but I did. And this ain't it. But I picked up a Suntup Editions numbered edition of Born of Man and Woman by Richard Matheson. Ever hear of him? And I'm holding this because this was Richard Matheson's very first published story. In July of 1950, at the age of 23, he had this story published in a magazine called the Magazine of Fantasy and Science Fiction. And I don't have that issue, but I do have a May of 1963 issue, a little bit late. But I just pulled this out. I picked this up at a store somewhere. It's got a Ray Bradbury story, Bright Phoenix. But just to show as an example of what these magazines may have been like. Very small type of magazine, and neat, man. There's a lot of them. You'll find them all over the place for sale. Some of them you can't give away, and then some of them are worth a lot of money. But Richard Matheson's first story was published in something just like this here. Kind of cool. But what I want to talk to you today about is a more luxury version of this short story in standalone format. And so it was available in numbered and lettered editions only, 250 numbered copies. And I think as soon as it was announced, I just sent an email to Camelot right there, to Camelot, and said, hey, are you getting any, and can I reserve a copy? And they said I could. But like I said, it's been published a little while. I just haven't gotten over there to get it. I was going to go early this week, and more stuff came up, so I couldn't go get it until today. And it is here, and it is bagged. This time it's got a little Suntup tape holding it down. I like the Suntup masking tape better than the regular old masking tape, but it's cool. And they've also taped down the number, so I'm reckoning that means number 212. And Camelot Books is one of my favorite book retailers out there. They're a good place to go. You can pre-order a book. You don't pay until the book is in. They ship them out. Usually when they ship them out, they'll have them wrapped in nice sort of wrapping paper. It looks like a present. It's a really cool gimmick from them. But since I'm close by, it just gives me an excuse. Sometimes I just got to buy a book from them just so I can have an excuse to go into their cool building. It's an amazing building on the inside. On the outside, it's very nondescript. You go inside and it is really cool. I wish I could show you what it looks like on the inside too, but I wasn't going to go in there and videotape their store from the inside. It's not really open to the public, by appointment only sort of a thing. But they've got so many limited edition books there. I almost always end up coming home with something extra, which I did this time as well. I ended up picking up, which I never got, an artist edition of Suntup Editions, Godfather. I love that book. I got the numbered edition from Suntup, but I never did buy the artist, so I got it now from Camelot. But this right here ended up being a very cool deal. They don't usually publish short stories, and this one is extremely short. I think it was 18 pages. Being Richard Matheson's first work, it'd be a rather important one. And so it comes with a custom bookmark like Suntup Editions books do. And this one features a lino cut by Vladimir Zimakov, and it's in the book as well as on the bookmark. And they actually sold a separate lino cut. I didn't buy it. I was happy to get the book in this case. I didn't buy that separate lino cut, but the bookmark is very cool. Each one of their books comes with a custom bookmark like that. It also comes in a clamshell enclosure, a tray case perhaps is what I call it. And it's covered in half linen, and it looks so nice. So why don't I just show it to you? There is this clamshell enclosure, and it's a little smaller than the typical Suntup edition. So if you look at the normal size numbered edition here, You can see this is a little smaller. It's an 18-page chapbook, essentially. And then you have a letterpressed spine label on this little tray case. It looks so good. And it's also got Brillianta cloth walls. So as I open it up, you look inside, that looks so good. And here is our chapbook. And you say chapbook, but let me set this aside real quick and show you. There's a lot of extra precision and cool neatness going into the chapbook. And the enclosure, there you go, is really cool. Let's set this up here for now. Stay. But checking out this chapbook itself, it is letterpressed, it is hand sewn, and it is covered, they say, Barcham Green de Wint covers, letterpressed on the front there. Handmade, hand sewn. Just if you look at the texture, I think you can see it here. The texture is just amazing. And then also on the cover, the ends, the edges, a decaling sort of a finish on the edge. Inside, it is not like that though. Inside it is straight cut, and it is on Hahnemühle Gutenberg laid paper, and it is fabulous. So let me show you, let's show you the frontispiece, that lino cut that I mentioned before, and then the letterpress there, and you can see, I think you can see, I can see the texture of this paper. It is something special. It is not the normal kind of paper that you would get in a book. And it is letter pressed, and it is so nice. So there's what it looks like. And let me show you this sewn. Let me see, right down the middle, you should have threads in here. Yep, hand sewn threads inside. So it is it's a neat production, but it is a chapbook. It is 18, let's see, 14, 15, 16 pages. Mine is copy number 212 of 250 printed copies. And it is signed by the author of the afterword, R.C. Matheson, as well as the artist, Vladimir Zimakov. So a very cool little thing, and a neat yet different addition to the Suntup Editions collection. I'm glad I was able to get one. The numbered edition, if I remember correctly, sold out very quickly, and I just went through Camelot. Like I said, some neat features. You don't pay until the book comes in. So they told me the book was in. I paid them online, and then I went in and picked up the book, but they'll ship it to you and stuff like that. So really great people, and a really cool production from Suntup. So what do I think about it overall? I love chapbooks, and I love to hold chapbooks, have chapbooks, read chapbooks, and own them. One of the problems that I do have with a chapbook is, what do you do with it on the shelf? They look like crap. They pile up, they stack over, they lean over. You can't read the spine, nothing like that. What Suntup has done is they've made this particular chapbook look great on the shelf with this nice case, nice label. It's a lot thicker than the book, so it almost feels like a waste, but it's not. So I have a chapbook here that displays very well. Suntup has solved one of the problems that I've had with chapbooks and collecting them. I'm a fan of Richard Matheson, and I've ordered the numbered edition. I've got the numbered edition already of Richard Matheson's I Am Legend. I pre-ordered the numbered edition of Hell House. I've got the artist edition of Hell House, the artist edition of I Am Legend. I am a fan. I've got other stuff in my Matheson collection from other publishers, and really happy with the author and the collection, and I'm glad to see more stuff come out from Richard Matheson. It's all good. One of the legends in horror. And this is a short story. It was his very first one, and it's one that when I read it the very first time, it sticks. It's like glue. It sticks with me. And so you're reading, in a nutshell, you're reading about this thing. I think it's a person. I think it's born of man and woman, but it's not human-like. It's got some very distinct animalistic features. Almost reads to me like a spider or something like that. I don't know. It's not very specific on what it is, but it's got some very strange characteristics. And this, I think this would be post-World War II. So this atomic age, radiation, creatures, stuff like that, mutants are a big thing at that time. Still are a big thing in fiction. And so it feels like a regular man and woman, church-going folks in late 1940s, gave birth to a mutant. And instead of killing this mutant or bringing this mutant out in the open and exposing it to whatever, they keep it chained up in the basement. And they don't love it. They don't treat it with love. They don't do anything except sustain its life, essentially. And so this mutant the story reads like it's from a very young child who's been exposed to no one, no education, although I think it can read. And so you're getting a very sad story. And the mutant comes out and gets punished. It gets beaten. It doesn't feel love. It doesn't know love or anything like that. But by the end of this story, I almost feel good. Almost. But it's a tragic story. But it's a touching story as well. And I don't think I want to tell anything else about it. It's a very short read. I recommend you go get it. I'm sure you can pull it up online and read the story online yourself in a good 10 or 15 minutes perhaps. Or you can buy a very fancy edition like this and read it yourself as well. But written by Richard Matheson, the legendary Richard Matheson, who inspired folks like Stephen King himself. At the age of 23, his very first published work, and Suntup Editions has done it proud. And I'm glad to be able to have a copy and add it to my collection as well. I can think of no more lies to tell. So thank you for your time. I do truly appreciate it. And say la vie, baby. Doo-doo.